Hi there, Pisces, and welcome to this, your October 2025 forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel, St. James Clairvoyant. Now, for those of you who might be interested in a personal reading or for a healing, the information's in the description. Now, this month's video might be shorter than normal. I have a number of pressing academic matters that I need to get finalized, and it's really eating into my time, but I can assure you that this reading is still going to provide you with the same high level of quality and accuracy that you have come to expect. So, let's see what there is in store for you, shall we? And there is Page of Swords, Five of Cups. Have a look here. There is Two of Cups. Right in the center there, that's good. There's the Eight of Cups. Very emotional time by the looks of things. And finally, there is the Knight of Coins. Right, why don't I bring the camera around and let's get right into it. Well, let's have a look. Oh, I can see you. Great love. I can see you being emotionally flat, though, probably as a result of something that someone said or done. Maybe this is the person here. Great love. And you just take on the world and put yourself back together, though. What is going on here? Let me have a look at this Eight of Cups. Now, I see here that, oh, well, this is Saturn coming into your sign of Pisces, you see, because that's why I'm getting this feeling of flatness around you for a moment, because Saturn is about structure, organization, discipline, responsibility. And, well, your sign is you are very intuitive, emotional, in a good way, spiritual, aren't you? And it's almost as if Saturn is coming in to deaden the water of your water sign completely. Saturn is dominating and suffocating the joy of Pisces. And with this number 8 here, I have an association with Mercury as well, and I think that's in detriment in your sign. And it's not a very strong planet. It's a flighty planet, so it's not pushing back this influence of Saturn. So the overall influence resembles a sort of a dark Saturn with no growth. And as I say, Mercury is it's about. Well, it's in detriment in your sign. But this number 8 also, numerologically, it's about you making things happen. It's about great degree of practicality, skill, and it's also about you being decisive and making decisions about things. But I do have this sense of the water of your emotions standing and not being renewed by any spring. They begin to stagnate, and the mists rise to the skies and cloud your mental clarity. I think that you have probably already wasted enough of your energy on people who give you nothing in return. You have filled them with your energy, but they are like a bottomless barrel, to the extent that you can feel empty and sucked dry. The river of energy has stagnated, and you might feel that the more you try to revitalize, to breathe life into a relationship which has fallen into a rut, the more powerless and empty you will feel. And that any attempt that you might make to re-energize another person might just spread your energies further without achieving any results. The problem here is that you might then, as a result of that, as a reaction, have a lack of get up and go, which can just be a reaction sometimes to feeling empty in your life, or feeling that something didn't fulfill you, almost as if you are denying yourself pleasure, even to the extent that you might see, well, I don't really have any interest in friends or personal projects. This is a time for you to consider yourself and set some limits and say no. Now, with the greatest of respect, it might be an old behaviour pattern to always direct your love towards people from whom nothing comes in return. And what people come to mind to you in this context? Well, we had Saturn, and now I think we might get its teammate, which is Mars. Yeah, it is. Actually, it is Mars both in the number 5 and in the astrology. Mars in the first decan of Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, of course, is one of your sister water signs, and the water is about emotions. Now, ordinarily, of course, you would expect a really positive aspect to this energy because Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. But with that number 5 there as well, that's additional Mars energy and flame. And so the energy is not really in balance. There's lots of fire and concentrated heat, which is evaporating the waters of Scorpio. So there could have been, what you're recovering from here, because you do recover, an unfulfilled expectation or a lost sense of balance, problems with relationships, some sort of an unexpected disturbance, some losses, feeling disappointed by something or someone. But of course, these aggressively destructive Mars energies now coming in to the scene speak of maybe some expectations that were much too big and some unexpected event, maybe even just a thoughtless words, kind of ruined those expectations immediately. Now, these energies which are hanging around have probably been smouldering beneath the surface within you for a long time, and you've overlooked them, maybe because you didn't want to admit to their existence. You've ignored the warnings of your inner voice, perhaps. Now, you've had to face the sobering facts and look them in the eye. However, every disappointment always contains within it a learning experience, and it enables transformation for caterpillars to become butterflies. And I think it's this energy here, the other end of this diagonal, which probably brought on this feeling of staleness and flatness. And I think it's to do with a person. It could be a situation with respect to it. And what I get here is that, okay, look, something maybe didn't work out as expected, but this is saying don't wallow around in self-pity and regret, because you can be assured that new and better experiences are in store. It may be that you are disappointed by someone else's actions. Now, these feelings which come up can often tend to give rise to a fear of taking another risk, or of making an effort, or hiding away in some place where you can't be disappointed again. You shouldn't do that. I think that maybe either some much too high expectations of yours have been crushed, or deep within you lurks the fear of some disappointment. Well, now's a good time to have a think about this. It's the shadows within you. But say this to yourself: I get to know my own reality by learning to see where I fool myself or deny my inner voice. But the better things that are in store for you are said straight in the center of your spread here, where we have, what would this be? It'd be Venus coming into Cancer. Well, Venus is really the most receptive of the planets, isn't it? And it's exalted in your sign. So it really does its good work of relationships, love and beauty. And Cancer, well, that's the most comforting and supporting of the signs. And this is talking of, notwithstanding this flatness that you feel, of a receptive love and happy relationships. Now, what it's also saying is to love yourself, because if you understand this, if you love yourself, you are attractive to others. And your willingness and receptiveness and acceptance of yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else. And then a deep emotional exchange will be possible. There'll be a giving and a receiving of overflowing love. This is complete joy and silent ecstasy. Your readiness to receive love makes you attractive, so surrender to yourself, to others, and to life. Now, this is additionally speaking of close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony, a relationship that is strengthening, and mutual love and respect. It's particularly good for, it's not only emotional things, but it's very good for people involved in sales as well, dealing with customers. I also get around here, unmistakably, thoughts of people getting married or marriages, deepening of existing relationships. Some people may decide to pull the pin on a relationship, is what I'm getting here. And look, it is the case that sometimes if you have given love out to someone and all you get back is indifference or worse, then give that relationship back to God so that you can get on with your own life and they can get on with theirs. Because the fact is that sometimes some people are meant to be part of your history and not part of your destiny. Now, what I am getting is some of this aggravation, this emotional aggravation, could well have been caused, the court card, by either a man or a woman who is this card is representing the energy of them. I'm getting, for some reason, I'm getting a lot of Taurus and Aries around here. Someone who is has a great energy to apply to practical matters. They're very energetic and they're enduring, a capable manager, I think. And they're quite steadfast in the way they go. They persevere with things. They're competent and can be quite inventive and ingenious, thoughtful, cautious, trustworthy. And they're able to find new ways of using things which are lying around. They're able to adapt to circumstances and turn them to their advantage with a slow, steady, well thought out plan. However, you might sometimes think that this person is sometimes almost entirely lacking in emotions or doesn't read emotions properly and makes no effort to understand ideas which are new or conflict with their own view of the world. And this is a person who can tend to be quite resentful of the more spiritual types. You, however, this is saying, will have a great interest in design. This could also extend to, of course, hair, makeup, clothing, all that type of thing as well, not just things which relate to buildings. And this is a time, particularly with relation to this 8 that's here, and I saw something else which is about decision, where this is a period of time that you take responsibility for your life to bring emotional happiness about, and you become focused. You might find that you're quite good at athletic abilities. I think you'll find yourself putting a lot of effort into practical things at the moment. And it's a time in your life when you're going to be very goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life. That is stuff which is to do with your health, work, things that are tangible to you. This is the time to take action about people or things, because if you do so, really important experiences are going to result for you. Now, let's have a look. I think that's finally, isn't it? I think this is speaking more to you. Geez, you're running around with this sword here, if you don't mind my saying. I think that we're looking here, possibly a woman, but of course these courts could be the thing, where you become stern and revengeful, firm and aggressive, really, but you do come out of the clouds and into clarity. There's a victory over your moods, but I've got to say there's a very rebellious nature going to be associated with you as well. You'll be very clever in practical matters. You'll be very clever at sorting out arguments between people as well, funnily enough. You might have a destructive way of thinking about things and applying it into the world, so be careful at that. And as I say, possibly maybe this is a result or a reaction to this set of emotional issues that you're going through. We become quite aggressive and vengeful and seek revenge. You're going to be forceful and outgoing in your manner, and you'll be able to get things put together in a very tangible way. You will at this time be someone who follows your own desire rather than serving somebody else. People might actually think, oh, they've taken this action, what on earth are they thinking about? And yet, over time, it turns out, and they will all have to admit it, that you made the right decision. So it's about, I think, you coming to the place where you knock over some of the statues which relate to traditions, because your thoughts and your vision may at times destroy all these holy statues, but don't let yourself get buried by the flying rubble, and don't allow your moods to take hold of you. Remain true to your real ideals. Now, I wonder what old statues are present in your surrounding, in your life, and whether you have the courage to destroy them. And as to this rebelliousness which is coming in here, look inside to see if your rebellion is rooted, grounded in love, and say to yourself, my rebellion is positive, constructive, creative, and fulfills the person I am, who is good enough, lovable, beautiful, and deserves success. What a fantastic set of cards for you. Made so much better. I really enjoyed your company during that reading, and unless I see you in the meantime for either a personal reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.